We're just two friends who love the movies, call each other every morning. Hey, good morning, man.
Hey, good morning, man. Yeah. So like I said, last night was just one of those nights, man, just scrolling through Netflix, nothing to watch, nothing to watch.
Oh, man, y'all weren't gonna watch like a horror movie or anything?
No, there's just nothing available, dude.
Oh, well, I told you to. Did Did you not end up watching that movie?
Um, yeah, we did. I was just trying to get a rise out of you.
Dude, it's too early for that. By this time, how many hours have you been up already?
I got up at 5 a.m. Eastern, so a couple
Okay,
hours, I guess.
okay, so a couple hours. And what time do you leave the house? Bu-
Usually out by 5:10, 5:15.
Okay, you just wake up, wash up real quick, brush your teeth, and then head out.
Yeah, exactly. Head out to Planet Fitness, the franchise gym, and turn on my Fast and Furious. But dude, this morning they no, I finished Fast Six, by the way, Fast and Furious Six, if I can get that right. And
Oh,
yeah, and then I turned on Furious Seven, which I think is the name, and which I've actually seen before. I saw that one in theaters. It was like the first movie that I saw in the series.
yeah.
Uh, but just gonna keep going through. But yeah, it said at the top, hey, this is leaving October 31st. And I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to watch these a little more fast, a little more furious if I'm gonna get through them.
So you
Um,
you finished Fast Six. What were your thoughts on it?
let's see. I mean, like I liked it, right? I'm glad that Letty's back. Um, and uh, yeah, I enjoyed having uh Dwayne Johnson back. Um, the plane scene was kind of cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's it's kind of trying to lean into. So I think a lot of movies, especially ones that start out with a reputation for being just kind of popcorn, you know,
Yeah,
once they've gone this long, they start to feel like they're special, and
yeah,
they like the fastest way for them to telegraph their speciality is to begin to introduce some like Christological motifs. So
yeah.
you get a lot more attention on Dom's rosary, which, by the way, I think he's Catholic, but his rosary doesn't have Jesus on it. It's just like a cross, um, which is unusual. I mean, I think he's Catholic. He crossed himself at some point. Um, and then like they had the big, one of the most awesome. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I got a little emotional in this habit when he jumps across the bridge and grabs Letty in midair and kind of lands on the car. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like a Superman moment. And, and she's like, "How did you know there was gonna be a car there?" And he's like, "I didn't. Some things you just gotta take on faith." But they're leaning into they Fast and Furious of all things is getting a Messiah complex,
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous for sure, man. And I've said it many times before that the series really hits the high points with 5, 6, and 7, you know. Uh well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm assuming you enjoyed Fast 5 more.
Um, I think so off the bat. I haven't sat down to write about Fast Six yet. Of course, I'm not writing a lot about these movies. I really so I don't. Did I tell you about? I was one of my writing classes in college. There was this very not being mean. She was like kind of mousy, kind of quiet girl. Very like librarian core.
Yeah.
Um, nice gal, good writer. She was in one of the writing classes, and you get this time where you get to like choose um like a topic, you could write on any kind of piece of media or whatever and
Yeah.
kind of develop a thesis for it. And she kind of got up and she's like, my mine is on Fast and Furious series, and I was like, what? It's like this adrenaline-packed series, and
Yeah.
that's what she chose of all people. But yeah, she was writing on why it was like basically a Christian text, and I was like, that's interesting. Because I had started to get into that, like, doing Christological readings of everything. But yeah, she made this big presentation about how it was like how the spirituality of the series, which I mean, they say they ended Fast Six saying grace too, but no, my position is basically that that's just a low hanging way to make yourself be taken more seriously, and I think it has actually worked. I mean, so you could
Yeah.
perform those kinds of readings, and even the ridiculousness factor, which you just rightly pointed out, like these are ridiculous movies, but if you think about, look, I'll go ahead and go on record. I believe all of it, but like the the Bible is insane. Like that's not the right word for it. That's not a very reverent word for it. But like the stories are wild. Like
Yeah.
they're so the maybe like the nature of reality is ridiculous, and it's hard for us. And the trick is actually thinking that it's normative. The thinking that the truth exists in word instead of power. But I digress, man.
The-
Um,
I wanna ask you something on that. So, and I think we've mentioned it before in previous episodes, but well, we both grew up in the church, as Christians, and
yeah, I'm
uh,
still there.
the book of and I don't go to church as often, but it's mainly because of I haven't found a church that I've really liked, and the one that I did like, it's now far away. But anyways, back to my point. um you know we've had many preachings at my church when I was younger about Harry Potter,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right? And like the magical aspects, right? The witchcraft, all that.
yeah.
um when you look back at the Bible, though, right? Do you think that the Bible had a lot of those aspects, but they kind of masked it as something else? Do you
Um,
do you,
it's
do you,
funny. I mean, if you're asking what I think you're asking, it's sort of an interesting inversion on what people usually ask, which is, do you think that the magical elements of the Bible are written that way to mask something uh, more natural?
yeah, like I'm because obviously in the church you're like, oh, witchcraft is bad, but it if you think about it, looking at the Bible, out of all the things that have happened, this guy is gonna get in a wreck because he's
No, no,
not
no.
patient. But
You don't have that fruit of the spirit, dude.
no, but do you get what I'm trying to say?
I'm not sure. Run it by me again.
Okay, do you think that these stories in the Bible are really related to like magic and all this stuff? Like the
Well,
stuff that Christians teach people, oh, don't don't follow witchcraft, magic, and all this stuff. But in the Bible, it has a lot of that.
oh yeah, yeah, right. So I think the distinction, so a lot of people will point out in defense of magic and witchcraft, they'll say, well, what's the difference between a spell and saying a prayer that's going to get a specific response? Or they'll say, well, don't you get the kind of instant dichotomy and when Moses is going to try to set the people free, and there's all of these signs and wonders, and then there's these other court magicians that are, um, if I could think of their Hopney and Finn, I don't know their names. Anyways, so you get that dichotomy there, but the difference is always the source, and I mean you get like also in the book of Acts, right? Isn't there a magician who goes up to the apostles and says, "Hey, how much can I pay you for you to teach me how to do what you're doing?" And they're like, uh, "That's not. You can't buy this. You can't control the Holy Spirit." And so with magic, you're controlling something for your own means to be your own God, and with the supernatural power of God, it's to His ultimate ends and in His ultimate
Yeah.
hands. So yeah, there's a distinction, but yeah, definitely I mean, it's a book full of supernatural um, circumstance and happenings, and people, the apostles laying hands on people and then being healed, and just all kinds of strange miracles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've always wondered about that because, I mean, oh man, just thinking about the stories from the Bible, dude. Like they
there is a
are.
literature out there about Jesus being a magician, and like, you know, I, I don't take to that stuff, but yeah, it's that's definitely out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting. Even if you may not agree with it, it's interesting to read up on that. I didn't know that there was actual readings on that.
Oh sure,
But
yeah.
anyways, back to what you watched last night. So you were trying to get a rise from me. Uh, so was it just you, or did Lori watch it? Or
Lori and I both watched it.
okay, did y'all complete it, or just
We
halfway?
completed it.
Okay, so yeah, man, what were your thoughts, dude?
You're right, man. Well, you were saying that it was beautiful, and but you failed to mention how heavy it was, how sad it was. I mean, I
Well,
found it incredible.
I
Wait,
didn't want to. I didn't want to say more
yeah,
than I needed
yeah,
to.
that was good job, Spoiler King.
Yeah.
Um, the and the performances were out of this world. So I thought Anna Camp was a non-actress. I thought because she felt so real in that role. I was like, I didn't recognize her. Lori did, but I didn't recognize her, and that was the daughter, the sister.
Yeah,
Um,
Pitch
and,
Perfect.
dude, I was like, where? I was like, where'd they find this girl? She's like right on the money. And I felt that too about the son, kind of, but it was
Yeah,
also because he wasn't. I felt like I felt a little bit. He felt real, but also like not as good a performer. Uh, but like I was like, these obviously are non-actors, but both of them were not. And you were right about the woman who plays the mother. I don't know her name, but she's been a working actress
yeah,
forever, and
dude.
she
She
was
she she brought the most laughs for me.
she did. But what interested me, and when she first hit the screen, she was instantly comedic, and you're like you're just laughing because you recognize some of the tropes that she's interacting with, some of the Southern tropes. But then, man, when she had the moments that were dramatic, she just really nailed it. I mean, she had some power. She had some sway on the screen.
I well, I don't want to get into plot specifics because I do urge people to go watch it,
Well,
and
I
I
urge people to go watch it, but I mean, dude, this is always going to be a spoiler-heavy show. We've got to talk about it.
yeah. So we're gonna get into details. The scene that surprised me with the mom character was whenever she's telling David Strathairn's dude, and that's the thing. Like, I know they're top tier actors, but my God, they felt so natural, man.
They did, man, and that's their power, man, that they were able to go into
The
that world and be those people.
the scene whenever she's telling him, like, what are you talking? She got an abortion, right? Like, and he's so in shock, and he goes to sit next to her. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but the movie really uh, made me think of the great film In the Bedroom with Sissy
In the
Spacek.
bedroom.
I don't
Okay,
know if you've seen that,
I've
but
not seen that.
you need to watch In the Bedroom. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. It says so much about like marriage and relationships without being it too much on the nose. But
Okay.
anyways, this movie reminded me a lot of that in
Mm,
many ways. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, man, well, continue. on your
Who,
thoughts.
me?
Yeah, continue on your thoughts.
Okay, so I recognized, as you predicted, a lot about this world that they were in, Southeast United States. Um, eh, the there's so I couldn't quite figure out how to say this when I was trying to express it to Lori, and I don't know if I'm going to do any better right now, but there is this people in that kind of proximity to each other in a small town, and the way that the families overlap, and the way people hurt each other, and the way people then move on. And it sounded like I was saying that people don't hold grudges, which is the opposite of true in a small town. Like there's a lot of bad blood, but you're just still kind of there together, and you'll end up in the same spaces. There's no way around it. And I thought that was something that kind of came through. But there's so many little details that made it feel so real. You get when they're just like kind of walking around with an iPad in their hand that's constantly open to online Scrabble or something. It's kind of a pitifulness to it and a sadness to it. And then you had moments of real beauty, like when they were in the museum at the end and they were playing the French Christmas Carol, and just showing the portraits. It's like I could watch a whole movie like this. This is just so beautiful. You didn't. There's no movie that exists without messaging, and I kind of stay aware of that. I think a lot of people do, but I appreciated. I think that they were really trying to just show people in situations that actually happen to people, and show people doing things that people actually do without trying to push too much a message or provide too much a judgment. Um, and I like when movies are able to do that, because I don't think any movie can ever be unbiased in its presentation, or can have nothing to say. But I think the attempt to just show things that happen is worth doing, and I think they do a pretty much a good job of it.
Yeah, I want to say that the speaking of the ending, the final, well, the final like scene between Jane Levy and David Strathairn, which I think it's this movie, it has their best performance for both of their careers, in my opinion.
Wow, yeah,
Uh,
that's saying something,
yeah,
especially for Strader.
yeah, especially for him. But that scene at the end, man, it could have been so overly dramatic, right? It could have
Mhm.
been so where he gives her a hug, right? When they're
Mhm.
sitting there next to each other, and he
Mhm.
tells her that I love, I love you, because it wasn't a romantic love, right? Like
Mhm.
it was a very a father and daughter, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
It felt so true to the characters that we've been watching for the entire movie,
Mhm. Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
loved how she pointed out how she's not perfect, Everyone throughout the whole movie, everyone's saying, "Oh, she's perfect." I forget her name, but oh, she's Little Miss Perfect,
Mhm. Mhm.
And she has her own little things, her own fights that she's going through,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Arguably, she has like the darkest moment in the movie. I would say she has the darkest moment in the movie, and that's in a movie about, with another character who's a serial cheater and beats up a pregnant woman. But like she has a very extremely dark moment in this movie.
Yeah, I did that. What were your thoughts on that confrontation with Strathairn and the
Yeah.
mistress?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, man, that scene was so good. I mean, the way he plays that, it, uh, I love how affected he is by everything that's happening. But everything, like you said yesterday, it's a quiet movie, but it's kind of got like that quiet violence. maybe like Scorsese talks about in the Age of Innocence or something, where he says it's his most violent movie. But
Yeah.
that scene, when he just kind of is listening to her and he's seeing it from the perspective of someone who's already lived a life, um, and the best line of the movie is in that part. And when it's in the trailer, you don't even. It's like, oh, that sounds like a line that would be in a movie like this. But when you've experienced everything you experienced in the movie up till then, and then he says, you've never had kids, but they're not yours. They're their own people, and they will break your heart. Because in her mind, right then, she's like, I've got this little baby, and that's how it feels. You've got a little baby, and it's like, of course, that's my baby, and this is good. This is perfect. Everything's happy, but they're their own person, and they're going to make their own decisions, and they're going to become someone just like you and do all the things that you did and have all the experiences. Oh,
One
great
second.
scene. Are you kidding me? Are you about to get some sprinkles? You about to get some sprinkles in your white cocoa Oreo mocha? Dude, if you muted this right now, if you muted this and you don't let us hear your girly order, I'm telling the world. I'm going public with this. I'm going public about your sprinkles. Folks, I've heard Sam bust back in to a Starbucks after he had already driven away because he didn't get his sprinkles. Cuss out a barista.
uh, I was gonna go along with it, but like listeners, please don't listen to him.
No, no,
This is
no.
not true.
He
But
did not cuss out a barista.
I do like the holiday sprinkles uh around Christmas time. I mean,
Yeah,
they add something to it. You know what I mean?
it's a
Like
little festive. Hey,
like
it's
come on.
aesthetic. It's a
I
little
like
thing.
it. So were you surprised that I had said that this is my favorite movie of the year so far?
No, no, I wasn't surprised, man. Pretty much, yeah. I'm not gonna be surprised by that. I mean, this doesn't seem this seems like something I would watch and think you would like. But I mean, the problem with a movie like this is it really can like if you're not in the space for it, you might just blink and miss it.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm glad that you hyped it up for me. Actually, that was helpful. Sometimes hyping something up can like hurt it,
Yeah.
but in this case, it just made me like really engage it so that I could get the most out of it.
Do you think that Lori enjoyed it?
I think so. I don't know. She was having some strange reactions to it. Some like she was confused by some of the beats and some of the circumstances, and so I don't know what she ultimately thinks of it. I'll have to square up with her and
Dude, and
find out.
final thing before we wrap up, I'm so glad that they didn't resolve the whole thing with the singing lady.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was like a nice kind of mystical. Yeah, it was like a ghost over the movie.
Did you read the review on ePert.com?
I had started it, and I'm excited because it was Sights
Yeah,
or whatever his name is.
read the review, and then we'll have to have a conversation again.
We're gonna have to
Because
have a six-part series on A Little Prayer.
hey man, it deserves it. But hey,
Is it?
I got
Okay, see ya.